Hello, all of my mighty moguls. This is Nselaa Ward, aka Nichinava, and we are recording live from the amazing Orlando, Florida. And we're going to talk about some issues today that I think are very important to the entrepreneur community, as well as the community that cares about our children, as well as the LGBT community. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard about what's going on, but lately there's been a lot of talk about some anti-gay activity that's going on in the YouTube community. What's happened is three things. First of all, YouTube has been demonetizing several individuals' content that addresses certain LGBTQ plus issues. For example, what this means is that normally people that are making YouTube videos, they're able to monetize or make income by allowing ads to be placed into their content. And now we've had a situation with YouTube where they are actually demonetizing certain videos if they come across certain trigger words, like, for example, transgender or LGBT or gay and lesbian, things of that sort. So what that does in the long run is that it prevents certain content from being able to get exposure and being able to generate revenue. Now, the second thing that they've been doing is that certain LGBTQ content is actually being age restricted, which means that some of the content that producers are making on YouTube is actually being restricted to people that are 18 and above. And then on top of that, what's been happening recently after all of this, and especially, and it happened during Pride Month, right? It happened during Pride Month. I don't know if you guys know the history of Pride Month, but it actually started with the Stonewall movement. So Pride Month, YouTube has actually been placing anti-gay ads on the content of creators who are LGBTQ plus, right? Now what that does, the reason that that's a problem is for several reasons. First of all, a lot of times the people that really need this information and what the conversations that's being had is about realizing who you are and coming into your identity and being comfortable with who you are. And when you're restricting this content from people that are under the age of 18, the people that need it, they don't have any other outlets. They don't have any way to be able to turn to something positive in their life because now, they don't have anybody to talk to or anybody to relate to. They don't have that type of interaction anymore, which is why we have this huge spew of suicides that's happening around the country, because youth and teens and young people don't have anybody to turn to when it comes to their identity, regardless of whether they're LGBTQ plus or not. That's a problem, because we need to make sure that our youth have the resources that they need so that they can get the help they need to become adults. They need to know that there's happiness, that there's something positive on the other side of the rainbow. And if we're restricting their access to be able to know who they are, or to realize that somebody else has gone through it before them, then we're restricting their access to happiness. And a lot of times they can turn to something that's a lot less positive if they don't have this access. The second thing that we have to pay attention to is that when you're restricting this content, a lot of times this interaction on YouTube is actually what is creating tolerance with each other. Right? The biggest thing that helps us to understand each other and to be able to be around each other and to love each other is exposure, right? When we start to know other people that are different than ourselves. And when we restrict the content simply because it's LGBTQ plus, then we're restricting exposure, and then people stop having tolerance for people that are in other communities, people that are different than themselves. And the third reason that this is important is because when we're dealing with entrepreneurship, especially in this day and age, YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook, Instagram, these are the ways that a lot of entrepreneurs are making their revenue and generating income at this point. So when you're restricting, when you're demonetizing entrepreneurs simply because they even mention transgender or LGBTQ plus issues, regardless of whether they're LGBTQ or not, right? Because this is not just affecting people that are LGBTQ or transgender, it's affecting anybody that has that language in their videos or in their taglines or in their titles or anywhere in their content, right? So you could be talking about LGBTQ issues as it affects you or somebody in your family and still not be LGBTQ plus. but your content will still be restricted. And when you're restricting entrepreneurs from being able to monetize, right? This is affecting a whole generation of millennials, right? So we have to make sure as entrepreneurs, as people that love our children, and as people that support LGBTQ individuals, that we stand up and do something about this, right? How many people do we know that are LGBTQ? How have LGBTQ plus affected our lives? Who cooks your food? Who's teaching your children, right? Who's was your best friend in college or in high school? Who helped you get through a really detrimental or a situation in your life that was really impactful, right? A lot of those were people that were in the LGBTQ community that we didn't even know about, right? So you have to make sure that we're supporting everybody, right? We have LGBTQ people all over, whether it's our uncles, whether it's our fathers, whether it's our children, they're everywhere, right? So we have to make sure that we're supporting them the same way that we will want LGBTQ support the rest of the community, because if it affects one person, it's affecting all of us. And if they come for one of us first, then eventually they will come for you too. So we need to make sure that we stand up for it now. I know that, I personally identify as LGBTQ plus. I prefer to use the word queer because I feel like it's a little bit more all-encompassing. Although I am married to a man right now. And when I was growing up in school, I went to the North Carolina School of Science and Math. And the North Carolina School of Science and Math at the time was actually probably more than 50% LGBTQ plus, right? The North Carolina School of Science and Math was a place that actually, it took the top 2% from the state, the top 2% smartest students from the state, and it put them all in a school where they would study science and mathematics and do amazing things. So this was not only a safe space for people that was really intelligent, but it was also a safe space for people that identified differently, right? So it's very important to me when we're talking about LGBTQ issues, especially when we go to reunions years and years later, and you see some of the people that you went to school with, they're not there anymore because they committed suicide. And these were the people that helped me through some really trying times, some really stressful times in my life. These were my friends and these were my family members. And regardless of who I'm with now, this is a community that I am going to always support and identify with. So we all have to stand up to make sure that we're doing something about this. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of your options. If you are a YouTube creator, then you have the option to control the content, the ads that's actually being displayed on your videos. So what I challenge you to do is to actually go in and see what ads are being displayed on your videos. And if you do see something that is anti-gay, anti-LGBTQ, you have the ability to say that I do not want this ad to play on my content, on my YouTube videos. There's a place in your settings in the back office where you can actually control this. And if we can actually control the money that's being spent around our content, then we can also have access to make sure that we are controlling the message as well. So you have the ability to stand up. If you see some content that is anti-LGBTQ, and for that matter, anti-people of color, anti-women, whatever the case may be, anti-anything that's human, then I would challenge you to say that you do not want that content on your YouTube displayed as an ad. The second thing that I challenge you guys to do is write to YouTube, but you don't have to just do it by email. You can go and contact YouTube on Twitter and say, hey, I'm not okay with this. I don't think that this is a good thing that you guys have been displaying anti-gay ads, that you've been demonetizing content, as well as classifying certain content that is not content that's inappropriate for children, restricting it to people above the age of 18, because there are a lot of people that need this information in their life that may be younger than 18. And you can look at the specific content and determine for yourself what you feel like is appropriate and inappropriate. So I definitely challenge you to write to YouTube and let them know that you're unhappy about it as an entrepreneur, as an ally, or as LGBTQ. I'm going to do it. I'm making sure that all of my content has no anti-gay ads on it as well, and I will hope that you would take a step and do it also. It's very important to everybody in the times that we are in, when so many people are being oppressed in our country right now. We have to stand up in every way that we can. My name is Nselaa Ward, aka Nava. I am the CEO of Nava and Associates. Just to give you a little information about Nava and Associates, we do wealth, credit, and business management. We are a wealth, credit, and business management firm. And a lot of people are a little bit confused when they hear that. So what we do overall is that we help you to build your legacy as a whole. So the first thing that we work on is your wealth development, to make sure that you have a legacy plan for wealth for yourself and the children that you're bringing into this world, as well as the generations after us. The second thing that we do is we do credit management as well, to make sure that your credit is reflective of who you are. Understanding that credit power has power that is stronger than our dollars, right? An 800 score actually could increase your wealth by over $10 million, and a lot of people don't know that. So giving you the education of what credit can do for you, and making sure that your credit is actually where you want it to be, and it reflects who you are as an individual as well as a company. And the third thing that we do is we help you to build your business, whether you have an idea or whether your business is actually already in the making and you need the systems in order to make it amazing, in order to make it better. We help you with the capital, and we also help you with the systems that you need to put into place to make sure that your company, your business, your baby has a strong foundation. And when we're talking about systems, I'm talking about the people ecosystem. So we're talking about the systems that you put into place from the moment that you come into the door, to the moment that you cut on the light, to the moment that you actually use your computer. Those are your human resources systems, your accounting, your tax systems, your fulfillment systems. This is your systems that you use for marketing, for customer relations, for customer service, for billing. We make sure that you have systems in place so that you can not only duplicate your business, so that you don't have to be the one that's trading money for time all the time, but you can also automate it so that you can actually work on creating a legacy and not just a second job for yourself. If you guys want to learn more about what I do, or if you just want some advice, then you can reach me on my website, www.whatasuperhero.looks-like. I would love for you guys to like my Facebook page, Nselaa Ward fan page, facebook.com/Nselaa Ward fan page. And keep in mind, Nselaa Ward is spelled a little weird, so it's N like Nancy, Selaa Ward Fanpage, Nselaa Ward fan page. Go and like the page, and then make sure that you put that you want to see first, because a lot of times Facebook will not let you see the content that you're signing up for unless you say see first. So choose to see first. Sign up for the web page, and then if you sign up for the fan page, and then if you go to the web page, I actually have a free bonus for you guys: the blueprint to making your business amazing. The blueprint so that you can go from mini to mobile, and you can get that for absolutely free by going to the website www.whatasuperhero.looks-like, because you are a superhero in the making. Like I said, my name is Nselaa Ward, aka Nava, and I will see you guys on the other side of mobileness.